welcome back to the ups and downs.
20 minutes,
You know, it'd be great if someone joined me on this bed eventually.
Sorry. Hey. So, this week we are going to be talking about the East. So we come from South Africa, Johannesburg more specifically.
Yep.
Is that not too specific? Oh well. And then, so basically when people
Specifically unspecific.
talk about Johannesburg, it's split into 4 sections like a compass. You got the north, the west, the south, and the east. You're from the east?
Yes, we are.
East Rand. Woo.
East Rand, even though that wasn't always the case for either one of us.
I grew up in Cape Town, in a beautiful little town called Fisher. Rebecca, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Fourways, which is in the North Rand of Johannesburg.
Yeah, so I moved into the east straight from Cape Town, which was in grade 8, which is a shitload of years ago. I'm not even going to go there.
It was like 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago.
I don't think it's 10 years.
Yeah.
Rebecca moved to...
I moved here about 5 years ago, from the north, from Fourways. It was quite weird because like when you move from a specific area, like you think you're going to take a long time to like get used to where you live now. And for us, I don't know, it didn't really happen.
For me it was a little bit harder because like Cape Town where I lived, it was like Fisher and there's one main road with 2 lanes. You know, so like it's very small, very like quiet, and then you come here and then like the main road here has like 4 lanes, and for me that was like the highway.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a little bit of a transition. Anyway, back to the East. My take on the East is that people are generally very friendly. But in the East it is a lot easier to make friends.
Just so much more chilled here.
Yeah, everyone's
than
sort of
in the
like
north.
laid back, you know. Like you go clubbing and you can pretty much make friends with anyone and have a great time with them and then never talk to them again or see them again and it's fine.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go clubbing in the north,
It's very cliquey.
it's very cliquey. Speaking to other people, like from people who especially aren't from the East,
Or have never actually been to the
or have
East.
never actually been to the East, there's like this very big stigma around the East.
I just realised I haven't got lipstick on. Carry on, carry on. Carry on, carry on. I shall apply on camera.
So there's quite a big stigma. Like I didn't actually realize this was a thing.
Oh, look at me, I'm busy.
Okay, sorry. I get the East is classified as being like rough, you know. And we were talking to a lecturer one day, and he was like, "So what part of Johannesburg are you guys from?" So we said, "No, we're from Kensington. We're from the East, you know." And like he looked at us and he was like, "Wow, so you chicks know how to handle yourself, eh?"
I mean, it is a bit of a compliment, but
I didn't really take it as a compliment because I don't know if it made me just shock me because I didn't know that there was that stigma
yeah.
around the East. So I did take a little bit of offense and I was like, what the hell is that supposed to mean?
So I find like, especially in the first year, I was very much laid back because now I was used to the East. And people in the East are very chilled, like...
East is like Joburg's Cape Town.
Yeah, actually, it is. Because when I was living in the north, like everything is so fast paced and everything wants everything now and needs to be done and everything needs to be like, ugh. And then you move to the East and you're like, oh, okay, we can just like relax, you know?
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about like people speeding up my ass and giving me a freaking car wedgie.
In the East, okay, yeah, the people are more laid back, but they're also a lot more straightforward.
Yes, they are. Like if they don't like you,
Like,
you're gonna know they don't like you.
I don't want to say like down to earth because then that gives the viewers the sense that everyone else in Johannesburg is stuck up, and that's not the case.
No, it's not, but like sometimes it can be.
And then, I don't know, I'm quite a friendly person, especially when I drink, and I remember we went out to a club in the north, and
Oh yes, whew.
so I was at the bar, and then there was this chick next to me, and I was like, hey, how's your night going? And she sort of just looked at me.
You know, stink eye.
I mean, like, I do dress a bit differently, I've got the dark makeup and stuff, but like, it doesn't just happen to me, like, it happened to Rebecca as well.
It happens to me.
When you go clubbing in the East, you can go up to any random person at the bar, just be like,
Hey, how you doing?
how's your night, you know, and
Yeah.
they'll be like, yeah, no, it's fun, and then you start a very easy conversation. With people in the East, you pretty much know more or less where you stand with them.
Games. It's no games.
Yeah. Okay, when we say the East isn't Dodge,
Parts of it are not Dodge. Parts of it are, like
parts of it
anywhere.
are. You go to certain places in the East, but just like when you go to certain places in the North, or the South, or the West, they're going to be dodgy places. I mean, that's just how it works.
And dodgy people. You get dodgy people everywhere.
You know, but like our issue is that the whole of the East is considered dodgy. For example, like when I had my 21st,
A lot of people were like scared to come to Summer's 21st. They were like, is there going to be parking? Is it going to be safe? Are we going to have a problem if we leave at the time that we leave at night? We have car guards like everywhere. We have parking like everywhere. Nobody just parks everywhere on the streets, even though that does happen. But
it does become quite problematic because it makes me angry. It does, because then because you're from the East, people view you in a completely different way. And it sounds stupid, but it does happen.
It does happen. Quite a lot in comparison to like if you lived anywhere else.
You see, like for me personally, I like growing up in the East because I've become a much friendlier person than I think I would have anywhere else.
I think it's because we've had to deal with that like being judged thing. So like when we see other people, we're not like automatically like, oh, I'm better than you, or
I've got more money
than you, or whatever it is, because we've experienced that same judgment. So we're just like, you know what, I don't know their story, I don't know what their life has been like, each their own, you do you kind of thing.
Because I'm alternative. And in the East there is a large
alternative subculture.
Subculture, like especially like in Vale, why I call this place home. Because there are people like me.
Yeah, and just because like you don't have to stress about like being different, because everybody is different.
It's different
in some way.
I mean, it's known that Invel has a large heavy metal like subculture thing. That's known. And I also feel like that's a lot of a big part of the reason why the East is viewed negatively as well.
Yeah, because they assume everybody is
point.
like that, and then at the same time you can find alternative subcultures in other parts of Johannesburg and other parts of the country, and it isn't looked upon in the same way, which is very strange. But I think it's because people in the East take it very seriously. I am alternative and this is what it is, and I'm not going to compromise. And I think that not compromising...
Because that's a big thing with people in the East. They won't compromise and they're not going to change their views just because it might make someone else feel comfortable.
Why should I give up something about myself?
Just
because
so it makes
you
happy.
Think it's better. No, I know what's better for me.
I know it makes me happy, and just because you don't agree with it, that doesn't mean that I'm going to change it.
And that's something that I've learned since I've been here. On how not to compromise on who I am. The whole time you're worrying about what other people think, and like you're not actually thinking about what you think. What are you actually enjoying?
Want?
What do I want? And you know, moving to the East was probably like the best thing that happened in my life.
Yeah.
Because now I know if people don't like it and they don't want to be my friend because of the way that I am, that's their problem. Yeah, there's like a celebration of blah 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 blah.
Of individuality. There you go. I'll take it. Got it.
I got you. There's none of this like, what do they call it? Beating around the bush. So it's not like saying, oh yeah, no, that's a good idea. And then being like, I am never using it.
Really not. I'm not going to do that.
I'm not going to use it. It's not what I want to do.
I've always grown up in a household with very strong opinions. And often it causes tension and often...
compromise type of world. You know, so it teaches you like, not to say sorry for your opinion, to say sorry for the manner that you go about it.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe,
and we'll see you every Friday.
Next week Friday. Yeah.
I think that is it for this video.
I think it is.
So, I know this is probably quite a long one.
You learn to get past that because not everyone's going to agree with you.